Hello everyone and welcome back to Cities by Steven. You're talking to Steven. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. Get that bell notification on too so you don't miss out on a video. Welcome back to the channel where last time we were here we had our episode 100 live stream. Yes, the first ever live stream on the channel. I really enjoyed doing that. It was a ton of fun. It was great to chat with you all. I know it was an awkward time, but unfortunately that is my recording time that I usually, make these videos at. In the future, I'll try to get some more live streams and some live streams at different times of the day. In today's episode, we are going to be building up the town of Winslow / Walsenburg. We're going to be expanding those two towns kind of in the area where the two separate towns merged into one larger urban center. I don't think we're going to get Winslow's metro station in today, but we'll be doing all of the residential expansion of it. We have a really healthy RCI meter. We have a pretty good balance at the moment. So we will be kind of dabbling into a bit of everything. Definitely going to push the commercial a little bit. So yeah, let's hop out and take a look at what we did last episode in the live stream. Yes, this is where we'll be working today, kind of in this zone right through here. It's really, really nice. It's a good little area, and I definitely need some suburban expansion in between Ordway and Walsenburg here. But this is what we did last episode. We made Sunset Hill, and we expanded it with Sunset Parkway. We got a really neat little area here. Bit of a, we got some height in this area as well, because I'm sure the land value is pretty high through here. So just a really simple little park here, but with a pedestrian kind of zone. And then we have a pedestrian road come all the way up to here, where we have a nice little garden with a cable car system that runs all the way across the river here. And it connects up with Prairie Station at a pretty good location. And people are using this to travel across the river, which is really, really nice. It's not just the tourist trap, because I'm sure the view across here would be wonderful. But we also expanded the park all the way out over into here. Got a cool little bus stop going. People are definitely using it to walk across the area, and I'm sure this would be a really nice spot to walk your dog. And we also have a nice feature up through here. Oh, look at this. A lot of people are here looking at the wonderful skyline. All right, so in today's episode, we'll be doing this, like I mentioned. So we have a good, healthy demand, and I've been really looking at this road in particular on how we're going to expand into this town. So I think this is going to be still kind of a main part of Old Walsenburg. I think Winslow is going to be a bit more off of this road, but we're going to try to figure out how we're going to connect these two urban centers. Is there like an old main street of Winslow, which we have the Winslow marker over here. So this is going to be a continuation of Old Walsenburg. I think it makes sense thematically as well for how the old main street here of Walsenburg kind of developed. So we have the old covered bridge, so I'm sure that this kind of theme would continue along over in here. So I think we can get like one major road kind of connecting from here up to this road. And maybe this can be like a bit of a main street with a bit of a commercial hub. It could be pretty straight, and then we could continue it down into here. And then we have a bit of a residential zone in this forest over here. And then we could have residential kind of along these estuaries along through here. And maybe we can get a bit of a park in this zone or something like that. Maybe over here as well. I'm not really sure what to do with this zone. This kind of screams park to me. But this is where we have our Winslow marker. So we may need to pull that down and make this Winslow. And then the Winslow Metro, I guess I could still be part of the same town, right? It's no big deal. So yeah, let's get started with this plan here. So this is pretty major thoroughway. I think it's a named road. Hamilton Bridge? Maybe not. This is definitely needing of a name. Walsenburg Street. That makes sense for it because, it's the old main street of the town. So why not have it, Walsenburg Street goes all the way to there. That is okay with me. Yeah, that makes sense. So we're going to continue with the same road type that we have over here. So it looks like we're using the divided road with the trees in the middle. So let's take the one with the trees in the middle. Whoa, got spinned around there. Spun around. That would be the correct word. And then we have this bridge over here. I'm thinking we might actually need to expand this bridge, but this bridge makes a lot of sense thematically. This is a type of bridge that you definitely see a ton in this type of situation in real life. I also really like the angle that we got on it back in the day when we built this. Not sure when we built this, but it was probably a long time ago. And this is a particular reason why I enjoy it, because you can actually walk across it. It has a separated grid, or a separated grade here with the little divider. So that's really nice. All right, so we have this main street kind of through here on Walsenburg Street, and then we need to get another connection up to here. And we're gonna need to upgrade this road for sure as well. But this is coming off of the roundabout. I think this is gonna be a road we're gonna need to upgrade in grade size entirely, because this is a highway, I believe, or it should be. Provincial Highway 67, yeah. So yeah, this one comes right up into here, and then it goes right into Prairie Station. So pretty major connection here. So let's upgrade the width of this road to something like this. All right, so I'm gonna stop this right here because we could have a dedicated left here. I don't mind that. We might want to think about actually removing that upgrade all the way to here, because this is a pretty main road in Walsenburg. So I actually think that's probably a better idea. So let's get a nice highway piece though. I think that would work a little bit better. So we'll go with like a national highway piece probably, mainly because I think it would. I think the speed limit kind of works as well. And, or you know what, maybe we go with one with a median, like this one here. Yeah, I think this one would probably work better. Yeah, that works. So we have a dedicated left going into old Walsenburg here on a pretty major street again. What is this street called? Dexter Peters Street. So how about if you'd like to rename Dexter Peters Street, it goes all the way to here, but really it should continue all the way to here. So let me know if you would like to name Dexter Peters Street. All right, so there's one thing I wanted to touch on, which was this bridge, and I wanted to see how this worked. I think we need to upgrade, or sorry, lift this up a little bit more, but otherwise we're pretty good with that height. Okay, so now that we have that in place, we can kind of see a bit better how this is going to work. So we have the Winslow Metro line over here. However, this is going to connect. We're going to deal with this next time. So we have the main kind of cute little boutique street kind of connecting right through here. We're going to probably use the same road type here that we have, and then maybe it can continue up into here or something like that. And then maybe that's how we can kind of connect up where the Winslow marker is, connect it up into this area too, which would be convenient. Yeah, so let's get this here off a 90-degree angle of Walsenburg Street. And let's choose a wider road, because I really enjoy this road in particular. And I think this road would make a really good, cute little boutique main street. And why don't we go from about here? All right, so there's a bit of an issue with the grid there, which is why I wanted to change this over. And I think this will work out pretty nicely, though I'm kind of looking at this street here, and I would rather an extra lane here, or at least make it wider, in which case I'm thinking we might want to think about kind of extending the look of this street right through here. And then we kind of lose the dedicated turning lane through here, but I kind of like the idea of having a wider road through here, but that doesn't particularly look that great. So maybe we go with something a bit different here, and this road might work a little bit better. and we have another dedicated turning lane there, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but this does turn into quite the main street if we continue it all the way like that, which I believe I want to. So maybe that is probably a safe bet. Okay, you know what? We're going to stick with the original plan here. I think it just makes the most sense for the style that we're trying to convey here. Smaller roads, you know, an older area that's been really redeveloped and has since become a bit more of a larger route through this area into the town than its original purpose. But there'll probably be some housing along here or some commercial shops and stuff like that. So they're not going to make the road any wider or anything like that. So I really just want commercial through here. And I think maybe we should think about extending. Oh, look at this. I did not plan for that, to be honest. But it looks like Old Walsenburg is already over on this side. And maybe what we do is bring Old Walsenburg all the way up to here. Envelop this whole kind of island or peninsula. And then Winslow is all over in here. And then why don't we use whatever district style we have for Winslow in this zone here? That would kind of make sense. And then we can use this area as well. Yeah, so this is kind of where the two towns are going to be kind of situated, I guess. Although if I lived here, I would probably consider this part more Winslow than Walsenburg, but the styles are going to be useful to use. All right, so what do we have in the Old Walsenburg area? So we got European suburbia, we got recycling, we got parks and rec, we got tax relief. Oh, nice. And school's out. Okay, cool. So I think we need to just kind of develop a quick little grid here. Should we connect to this road at all? I don't think so. I don't even think we're going to bridge this. So this estuary here is going to be the end of our road, or our area. And let's take a look at the topography. All right, this area would definitely have a lot of influx of water, fluctuation of water. So we need to watch out for that. I think we should have a bit of a road running alongside the edge of this. And I think that would probably be from about here. This actually works nicely. We could get a little road connection here, or we could pass on that and get our first road connection right off of this grid here. And why don't we try to establish the grid then? So we could go right here. It's a bit tricky to see. Let's see if I can get a better view for you all. Right here, and then we maximize our grid size, but I don't really mind going a bit wider. And why don't we go like really wide? So that's 4 spaces in the middle. All right, so now that we kind of have that in play, let's go with the freeform road. It has been a little while since I've played, so I am recording this a few days before its release, and I hadn't played since our live stream. So it had almost been a week, or over a week, since I last played the game. So I often find that after it's been a little while playing the game, I forget a lot of the names of things and whatnot, just because, you know, I haven't played in a little while. Funny how things work like that. All right, so I'm just gonna use Move It to get this exactly where I wanted it. This is perfect. Get it to the same height as that. We have a pedestrian connection there, technically, and then we have a little kind of river road running through here, where we have our main connection into the town. And I don't think this needs to be a light. I know that it defaults to a light, but we're gonna say it doesn't need to be a light. Fantastic. So now let's just continue with our grid system that we started out. So that would be right here with the straight line road, just like that. And then we'll connect it up. Same situation as earlier, just have a nice little pedestrian connection here. We don't need a crossing right at this little node, so we're going to turn that off. Make sure cars can get through. And then it also means we don't need one over here either. It just doesn't make sense. I've never seen that in real life, but I know it's just a feature of the game. And then right at this little intersection here, I'm just going to actually grab the same road type here, and we're just going to upgrade this here, so we just get a bit of a smoother connection with a dedicated left. And you know what, I'm going to really play with this node, because if I'm driving here, that's way too sharp of a turn to get onto that road. So I'm going to pull this one way back. This is going to pretty much be a newer addition onto this road. So, like, the road has been upgraded. Yeah, it's good. And then we're actually going to even turn off the crosswalk here. Ooh, actually, let's leave it on just so we can kind of see where the cars are supposed to stop. But I guess we could actually show that with another item we have here. So let's turn off the crosswalk, because I don't want people walking there. And then what we can do is we can use the intersection marking tool and then just go from here over. And there we go. That's where the cars stop. All right. So that's a pretty good little grid pattern we have through here. And we have another kind of river road. This one's a bit more on a straight kind of line. And again, this river would fluctuate, or this estuary really, this would be really swampy in the summer. But we're playing this game set in spring, so the rivers are at their maximum. So we're gonna kind of create like a bit of like a walking path along the side here. I've done this before in this series, so whenever I'm building a city on a road, or sorry, on a river, you always got to be conscious that in real life rivers fluctuate a ton, and it is very damaging to property if the river floods its banks or overflows its banks, and then all of a sudden you know, you got a river in your backyard or in your living room. So it's really important that we keep in mind about what the rivers could do, so that when we're building, we can kind of create like a bit of a park where the river would be. And that way, if you know, something overflows, if the river overflows, then it only flows into a park, and it's much, much easier to clean up a park that has a river flow into it than houses. All right, so I'm thinking about what I want here, and I think our best play would be to get one of these roads here, figure out where the first grid line is going to be. So this is an older town, right? It's kind of what we're going for. And the grid, older towns are very gridded, right? So I believe this would be totally normal to kind of see. So if we have our first little grid section here, we can then upgrade this one piece like we said. And then what we can do here is we can then curve it along and find the river's edge here. So it looks like we have a bit of an elevated section, which could be really nice for an actual park. So let's back up this a little bit. And why don't we, what we could do is we could have like a gate right here for a park. And then like right on the end of this road, which would be nice. Yeah, let's do that actually. That seems fun. All right, we're gonna have a bit of a boat launch here. I think that could be fun to do. So that would be a good spot for it as well. All right, so we kind of have our whole area gridded out. Let's take a look at the little topography markers here. And okay, so we can fill in a bit of a bit here. We could, you know, clean this up a little bit. All right, so let's start with the commercial zoning. And we will pretty much just zone up everything along this block here. So I'm going to leave a space because whenever we're on one of these main roads here, I prefer it if the zoning was kind of pulled back a little bit. I feel like that's realistic to see. We're going to turn off zoning from here. Actually, you know what? I might get zoning along here. Along this side only, though. So let's prioritize newer roads. There we go, that's nice. And then should we get anything along here? Should I extend this road at all? I didn't really play with this road much. Yeah, you know what? Let's do something. Not the whole way though, just something like that. Yeah, that works. And then we'll also go into our zoning adjuster and then prioritize newer roads. Looks like it already is. Nice. Okay, so that means we can get some cool old houses along this main street. This was, again, once a pretty major thoroughway, but also really far away from the city. So I would like to see a couple like really old homesteads or something like that. That would be really cool. Before we get too far along, I want to continue the commercial zoning first. I think this is going to be kind of the priority through here. And I'm going to pull it back to 3 deep in here because, actually, you know what? I think we can probably go with 4 because just looking at how the zoning is kind of playing out, I like leaving a space in between the commercial and the residential zoning. It's just a preference. So maybe right here what we do is we pull it back, and then right through here we also pull it back, and we can kind of copy what we did on both sides. So then back up to 4 through here. All right, tons of commercial, creating a really unique little main street here. And then what do we do with the main street? We could just leave it like so. Oh, water. All right, so we could just leave it with, you know, this and keep it as such. But we can also add in some unique features. So this is like what we're saying is an older main street. What kind of era would this have been? Well, if we're saying Old Walsenburg was kind of like the early train station stage, we have the old train station here. I'm sure when this train station was built, it was probably one of a few buildings in the area, right? So maybe this is a bit of like the neighboring town at the time. So we could probably assume that it would have one of everything. Maybe it was a bit of a farming town or something like that. Maybe we could play into that later on. It's also kind of on 2 major routes, so it probably became a bit of a trading little area. So maybe we can lean into that with a few older buildings. But let's start off with the classics, which is the post office. You got to have a post office. You know, it really works for these type of builds. It also adds a ton of bonus value. So we'll add that right in there. And then the new thing is the bank, right? So we have the small bank, and this one can slide in perfectly right here. So those are 2 really, really great options. Oftentimes you see parks or plazas kind of in the middle of one of these towns. So we could add in one of these small plazas here. This is a little bit bigger than what we have kind of planned. So maybe what we can do is we can say that this one could be like right on the corner or something like that. Maybe right in here. I really like that building there though. I'll put it on the side. Yeah, I really like the laundromat here. I think that's a really good vibe for what we're going for. Same with this one. This kind of like Art Deco style, lots of parking in the area. So yeah, we'll definitely keep those ones, and we'll delete this building. Not the biggest fan of that one. And this one's on the wrong angle, so we'll delete that one as well. So I like the plazas because they could be kind of like a little bit of a town square kind of idea. And then let's also make sure we mix in the residential through here too. Actually, you know what? Maybe we don't. Maybe we kind of keep this whole square as a bit of a services point, and we could have our fire station through here. So this is a bit more of a modern fire station, which is okay. Maybe we can plop that down right here, and then we can extend the commercial right up to it like that. Then we could have some paths kind of running in and out of here, make it seem a bit more walkable. So those are hidden paths underneath here. People will then walk across it underneath the asset, and it'll make it seem like people are actually using the park to cut through. And I think that makes a lot of sense. All right, so now if we're talking about some older town kind of feel, we got to make sure that we have like a cemetery, for example, or an old church. Maybe we go with a bit of a smaller one like this. This makes a little bit more sense. Which way is north? North is this way, so I believe the church steeple has to face east. Let's see how we have things positioned. This one is kind of facing south, but maybe that one wasn't strategically placed. This one is facing east. Okay, then we can kind of keep it in that orientation, which would mean that the church would have to be kind of on this side of the street. So we could plop it down over here. We have a bit of open space. That's not too bad. We could also get it a bit closer to the main street of town, but we have the post office here, so why don't we say that we can plop it down right here. That makes sense. And then we can just remove this right here. No problem there. And what other services do we need? Well, we need the police station. That is always needed. We don't have to go for like an older building here, but we could. Maybe this is a bit of a converted building or something like that. And we could plop this one down right there. And I think this building actually plays pretty nicely with this corner that we have going on right here, because it's so new and the rest of it is a bit older. I know there's a building still inside of that, but it'll delete eventually. Then let's delete this one so we kind of regrow this area a little bit better. Okay. And then we need a healthcare clinic. That is always good. And we could go for just the classic one, which I think is probably the best bet for the theme of this build. And we should probably get this, kind of have a bit of a main corner here. Where is the healthcare clinic? Over here. Okay, so if we place it on this road, it actually kind of helps out this area a little bit. So why don't we do that, and we could place the clinic right here. Yeah, that makes sense. And then we can continue the commercial zone right down to the water here. All right, so things are looking pretty good right now. I like the look of things. And now, mind you, there's no trees or anything in it yet because we're just focusing on the buildings itself. And I think we have a pretty good style going on through here, especially in this little zone. I really love the kind of 1950s, 60s kind of style stuff we got going on through here. Yeah, I love how this building is kind of on the wrong angle though. So let's delete this one. And this building, I don't mind though. This could be like a, oh, it's a central hotel. That actually works. I like the parking of it and whatnot. Two buildings of the same type too close by, so we'll delete that one. And then what is this? Yakisoba. Don't like that building on this angle, which is unfortunate. So something we could do is we could look if we have any industry in Old Walsenburg. We don't. So let's add in an industry kind of type to Old Walsenburg, and we will do farming industry in here. And this will allow us to kind of add a few different style of unique buildings to our main street. So right in this corner here, we could add in a fun little building. Okay, so adding in a bit of industry in here is going to make it seem like the town is kind of transitioning and whatnot. Ooh, this gas station is perfect. Really, really enjoy that. Okay, so we'll come back through here in a little bit because we need to continue the zoning through here. And oh, before we get going too far on that, let's get an elementary school in this area. I'm not going to get a high school in here because we have a high school nearby. And is it full? It is full, but that's okay because we have schools out. I think maybe we could place a high school up in here, but this area does not scream it has a high school in it to me. And I don't mind kind of pushing it along a little bit, pushing it down the line a little bit, you know? So let's get an elementary school over in this corner here. And the great thing about this elementary school asset is it already has a playground attached to it, so all you really need to do is grab a fence, and I like the forestry fence for this, and pretty much just drawing in a shape around the playground area, or around the elementary school, and then that can be your playground, your schoolyard, sorry. And it works, you know? Yeah, and there we have it. There is the schoolyard. That's you know, it's pretty small, but it works. And then we can get some housing through here too. All right, so I'm not gonna get much housing along in here, but I will get a few smaller ones. This will kind of show that they're older building types or older buildings through here. I think I'm gonna stop right there because we're getting a bit too close to the river. And then right in here, I think we could get a little bit as well, but not on this side. Okay, so by kind of having the grid size we do have, it allows us to really just get some large residential areas through here, which is nice. So we have a bit of a larger gap through here, so we could create a bit of a unique difference in the grid shape if we do that there, and then same thing here. Okay, we're at this really awkward area. Let's turn off zoning right there. That makes a ton of sense to do, and then there probably wouldn't be zoning along this road right there at least. I'm not going to commit to the zoning along this road yet, but this makes sense to do. And then we'll get residential housing. We'll start it right there because we're a bit too close to the intersection. We can bring it all the way over like that. That makes sense. And then let's, whoa, autosave. There we go. And then let's prioritize newer roads through here. There we go. Turn off zoning on that road. There's no way we're going to zone anything there. And then this way we can get some residential through here. Same thing. So we left 2 spaces. So we'll leave 2 spaces on the other side. Okay. So I think we need a bit of a street that kind of cuts through here. And we could go like right up against the church, which would be fine. But I think we leave 1 space. Okay, fantastic. So that's going to come in really nicely. Now, if I'm looking at the land value, I'm pretty sure the land value is going to be much more lower down over here yet. So I think we need to add a park in. Easy enough. Let's find a little park asset. And it could be anything. It could just be the small playground. It can be, we already have a plaza. It could be a dog park. But I think, well, you know what? We're going to actually increase the land value around here by adding in a park, kind of, but with like a walking path along the side here. But let's add in just a small little playground. I think that makes sense in this area. So there's lots of spaces to detail up in the detailing time lapse, which is great. And now we can focus down in here. So this is going to be the kind of main park area, right? But I think we could probably get a bit of residential through here. So we'll kind of copy what we have going on. And then right here, let's go down sizes a little bit. Something like that. That works. And I actually don't mind a really small house here. That could be kind of fun. And then we're going to have a bit of a marina. And I don't think we have any marinas in the city yet. So this is kind of a first. That is fishing tours. Here is jet ski rentals. Okay, here's the marina. It's going to take a bit of finagling and to get right. But if we get this just right, we'll have it so it looks like the marina. This is kind of the marina road. This is the issue with the marina, is that this boat, this houseboat, is so darn close to the river's edge, or the edge of the water here. You gotta really play it safe here with everything. All right, that's actually looking pretty good. We don't really need a big marina. I don't think that too many boaters would be too active in this area. Although it is pretty nice. It is a pretty nice river. But I am not 100% sure how much boating is done on the major rivers in Alberta. I'm sure there's a ton of canoeing and whatnot, but major boating like this with motorboats, I'm not too sure. But I think a landing like this makes a ton of sense to do. So we'll detail this up kind of with our park area as well. But I think this works out really good. Okay. Any other waterborne assets that we could kind of add? The fishing pier? No, not here at least. The fishing tours. I don't mind the fishing tours if we can get it just right though. But it needs to be on a road though as well, which is a little frustrating. Because if we could kind of get this as a bit of a secondary pier, that could be kind of fun. Why don't we try that out though? So how about we use a dirt road? All right, I kind of like how this turned out. This area looks really nice. I like the little warehousey thing too. That makes a lot of sense. I think we can add a bit more detail in here in the detailing time lapse. But let's get this park in, guys. I think this will look really nice right in here. We're gonna run that park zone all the way through, but we're only gonna really have one gate, and I'm okay with that. I don't really see this park as a park that we need to charge for. We're making really good money in this city. At least, well, not really good. We're making decent money. I'm not trying to make this city an extremely profitable city. I'm trying to make this one a thematic city to kind of Alberta, Canada. And I think we're doing a pretty decent job so far at least playing within the game mechanics. We have almost $8 million. And I don't play with the stock market at all. So we're doing a good job. All right, so I'm gonna run this park all the way along the river's edge here, because we're gonna run a path all the way through it. Then we're also going to include the marina as a part of this park, because it's gonna really boost the value of it without us having to place down a ton of assets. It's also gonna allow us to sneak in right through here, which is nice, and run alongside the bridge, or maybe we go under the bridge. That could be cool. All right, so we're gonna call this park Winslow Point. And this will help bring the name of Winslow down from over here, even though we're using the same district type as Old Walsenburg, which is really good. So we have the kind of parking lot over here, which is great. And then we need to run a few things through here. So I think we might run a fence from here over, but that's it. I don't really see us needing a fence much, or in many other places. Maybe even not. Maybe we leave a little space here at least for people coming in. Yeah, I think maybe we run the fence. Let's turn off our guidelines. Run the fence to about here. Okay, so let's save this building because I like it. That's a movie theater. But let's delete this building here. And I don't mind these two buildings. Maybe not that one. I don't mind this one here because maybe some developer bought this because of the prime location, you know? All right, I really like this building here. That looks nice. And then the classic diner plays really nicely. And same with this corner shop here, Flaming Ring. Just the way that it's on a corner there, it looks really nice. We already have a movie theater, so we're gonna have to delete that one, unfortunately. We'll redo that side. We loved that gas station. And this one I don't mind. Looks like maybe one of the first office buildings in the neighborhood. That could be nice. And then I don't mind these corner stores. Whoa, too much, but we've already kind of have it on the other side and we're not playing that theme all the way through. So we're going to delete it. And I was worried that was going to happen with that building because I realized as we did the other one at the pier, that I didn't actually end up saving it. I don't mind this one. It's not exactly the best spot for it, but I could see how a little cafe popping up right there. And oh, definitely not this building here. We just talked about that one. Okay, so why don't we play around with some of the buildings for a little while. Yeah, I really like this old diner here. I think that looks really cool next to the more modern building. Definitely shows a neighborhood in transition. And then let's look at this one here, which is a 3x3. These ones, there's a lot of options. We could go for just a classic little building. We could continue the more modern theme. Seems like it wants us to continue the more modern theme. So why don't we look about kind of going down into like a 2x3. This one could be good. I like that actually. Yeah, let's place this one down. Leave a bit of space there. And we can just fill that up with some trees or something like that. Why don't we go with the young linden? All right, so if you made it this far, and you missed the last episode, which was the live stream, you may have noticed that I have a new logo. So the new logo is on screen now, if I remembered to put it on. If not, this is a really awkward part of the video, and we just get a cool view of the area we just built up. Yeah, new logo. I've been looking to do a new logo for a little while. Oh my gosh, this one disappeared again. And let me know what you think. I figured it was a bit more simplified than the other one. The other one I made pretty, not gonna lie, pretty crudely right before I started my channel. Way back in 2020, and yeah, I felt it was time for a change. Kind of lines up with episode 100 as well, which is nice, and kind of the rough start of a new series as well, which is going to be coming. My new series, I'm hoping to have it kind of ready to go by March, but things happen. Like we didn't have a video last week because my workload just got so suddenly overwhelming, and I couldn't really find time to make a video. So apologies for that last week, but I hope that going forward that doesn't happen. Alright, so normally I really don't like this asset, but just mainly because of the creepy head on the top of it. I think it actually kind of works here. So, minus the creepy head, but I think the building type actually works here. Okay, so there we have it. There's the main street. Let's get the park going through here. Oh, actually, forgot about this part of the main street. Two of the exact same building right across the street. Unfortunately, doesn't work. All right, so this building is fantastic here. Let's keep this one. We'll keep this one too, because I don't really mind it. We already have a building like this somewhere else, so let's delete this one. This is way too tall. Oh, hey, Burger King. Nice. Always need that on a main street. Penny's Diner, I actually don't mind that right there. And then we have a bit more of a modern building. Okay, we'll keep this one. Don't mind that. All right. So I think we're doing good. We're just waiting on these two buildings to confirm. And then we have the kind of main street all set and done. Oh, never mind. This building is horrible. Let's delete that one. And actually, you know what? I feel like we need the warehouse here. Also, by placing these warehouses in here, we're kind of eating up a bit of the demand for it, industry demand as well. So also, you know, it adds good mixing, so that works too. Totally wrong building type for this area. Let's choose it by hand. It's massive. We have all the options available to us. So let's see. We already have a gas station on here, but this could be a really good spot for a gas station. I always like combining this one with a gas station. Now I know we already have a pancake shop in this town, but that's okay. We can just get another one. It's actually, this is a drugstore apparently. Interesting layout, I must add. Okay, so yeah, gas stations are really cool, and definitely I need to put more of them into my cities. At least I need to pay attention to putting them into my city more. Yeah, this is a great little area here. I really, really like this. Okay. So there we have it. Let's do the park, and then we will kind of call it a day. So we need the path, and I think we'll just get a little path kind of running up to here. If we can kind of have a nice little lookout or something like that. Maybe connect it up with this road here as well. And then I think we'll be running dirt paths because if the river does flood or overflow its banks, it is easier to fix up a dirt road than it is a paved road, because the pavement will crack with all the water over it and everything like that. I've seen it firsthand along the Ottawa River when it flooded a few years back. There's a nice big walking path along the Ottawa River, and yeah, the Ottawa River overflows its banks every now and then because it is a major river, and all rivers overflow their banks at some point. So yeah, I like how we're leaving this little hill here. That's kind of fun. And I think maybe we can just pull this out a little bit. Okay, so what do we need in this park? Well, I think green space is the key for this park. But I wouldn't mind a little cafe here. Or sorry, a little restroom here. That would make sense to do. It's a city property. I don't think we need a cafe is what I was going to say. Let's let's take a look at the entertainment value. Yeah, so it's pretty high already, which is nice. We have no visitors, so this is going to be a long play, that's for sure. But just a little washroom there, I don't really mind. And then we need a gazebo for sure over in here. I hope we don't remove too much of the hill by placing this down. Nice. I would like to keep this hill. And then let's definitely fence off this property here. We're going to use an iron fence. Let's use a different type of iron fence. Okay, and now let's get a few little dirt paths across here at these different little points of interest. So right in here, there's a bit of a node. So why don't we run a dirt path kind of like this? That makes sense. And then you can have a dirt path kind of running right beside the washroom, kind of up to here. And then we can also have, should this be paved actually? No, but this will show wear and tear. So it's kind of like desire path right there. This will just be like kind of a basic entrance. And then we definitely need to continue, or maybe it's not desire path, maybe this is a real path. And we can kind of do something like this. That makes sense. And then right on the opposite side, we will run a path beside the road here. where we can connect up like that. We'll have a bit of a crossing there just for the sake of it. And then we need just a pathway running alongside the river here. Now, should it be a paved path? I don't think so. I think maybe we can just have this running alongside the river here. Just like that. That works out nicely. And then let's go over to here where we have a path that is needed running from here to here. And we're not going to go under the covered bridge, but we can totally run a path to this area as it's probably a main point of interest. And then I know we removed the path earlier, and I'm going to keep that removed because I don't want the crosswalk. But I think it would be pretty cool to kind of have... Oh, it looks like they're actually connected. That's kind of funny. So maybe we can lower the ground there or something like that. But let's just run this path like this. That's good. People can walk underneath that. So these homes probably run the risk every spring of there being some influx of water in this estuary. But, you know, I'm sure that when they bought the house, they knew that was a possibility. All right, so there is Winslow Point. I think we need a few more little features in here, like a viewing deck. And we'll use the short one right here. And now we can have a nice view of the downtown. Holy cow, that's awesome. Okay, and then any other unique little features? Well, I think maybe we could add in a gazebo or two in other locations around the area. So how about right in this little park we have a little gazebo here. That makes sense. And then over here we also have a bit of a gazebo. I like that actually. And then over on this side, do we need anything? There's not really a lot of room over here on this side. So I think we're good. And I guess we could add in a playground. All right. So I think we're going to hop into the detailing time lapse now. We'll just touch on trees pretty much in this whole little in this little town. And then we will kind of detail up the main street if there's any detailing that's needed. But otherwise, I think this is a pretty fun little main street build. Really, really enjoy this. Oh my goodness. And one of the buildings got upgraded. Oh no, I don't like that. Okay, that was the office building. I think it's probably because this is vanilla or something like that. Although it's European suburbia, but I'm not sure how it really interacts with what we were doing. So yeah, I'll just fix this in the detailing time lapse and talk to you soon. All right, and there we have it, kind of building a main street in City Skylines, and I think this main street turned out pretty nicely. We have this little teeny pocket of a town that's kind of going to get enveloped in the future, especially when we build up this kind of area and a future transit hub. So we have a few key roads that we can connect up into here, and we're gonna have to have another little bit of a suburb, probably more on this side, but I really like the idea of this commercial main street through here. And I wanted to spend time on the fencing of this area because I felt like we played a lot with the property lines in this video. But going down the main street here, we have a park at the end of it, and you know, a bit of a plaza, some old Art Deco style, a couple of gas stations, tons of parking, office space, newer buildings, older buildings, and I think we did a pretty good job. So let's get a nice little picture here for the screenshot, and I think this is probably a good view. So I hope you have a wonderful day, folks. Talk to you soon. Peace out.